All right, we are live for the very first episode of the South Florida edition of the
Let's Go podcast. South Florida, baby, we made it. HSL has made it. It's only been 2+ years, and we are taking over the world one state at a time. And we are super excited to be starting our HSL South Florida Men's Softball League tomorrow night. We have our high school league as well for TTB starting with the Shabbos. But right now, this is a HSL South Florida Softball podcast with Joey Katz and Yona Berger, who are taking the lead, taking the ropes. We appreciate everything they're doing. Obviously, us being located in New York, very difficult to be running a league out in South Florida. So thank you guys. And let's get right into it. David Gottlieb, who is my partner in HSL, what's the word? Corporate. Joey doesn't like hearing that.
We're HSL
We're
Global.
corporate. We're corporate.
We're global.
HSL Corporate also hosts this podcast with me. So in general, I don't know how many podcasts I'll be on for South Florida, but anyways, in case you don't know, that's what David Gottlieb is doing here. And David, you could start things up.
So for our new listeners, we have found in New York that a great way to build community, a great way to build people to know each other and to enjoy are these podcasts. I love meeting people. I love schmoozing with people. Avi and I have done 118 of these podcasts. We've probably had like 75 guests, maybe more, maybe even 100 guests. Well, my time is divided. I have a lot of responsibilities and stuff. I'm sitting in this players chat with Rob the Pest Martinez, Sam Seelenfreud, and I'm like, get me on the South Florida podcast.
Don't forget, you gotta give shout outs to Dovey Quinn, who requested the podcast, and I think his name's John Eliezer.
Yeah, those guys too.
There's someone else. Who else? There's someone else.
Jared Schulman, the legend. Although people apparently
there's-
don't like him being called a legend.
There's someone else who's been harassing in a good way, a very good way, about the podcast. What's his name? Yisrael?
Israel Rubenstein, legend.
Yeah, Israel Rubenstein. He's been
Legend. And the King Diamondstein.
King Diamondstein, Ira Sauce. We got a lot of good people out there, and I'm feeling the pull. I want to commute in for these games. It's not going to happen, so we're going to figure out the podcast schedule. We're going to figure out if we have guests, if we do power rankings.
Well,
I'll
be commuting in for this week.
Avi's commuting in for this week. But most importantly, we have with us here the people who had the seed of the idea and really took things to from, well, I don't know who had the original idea, but the people who took the idea from potential into actuality. We have here Mr. Joey Katz, our commissioner. We have here Mr. Yona Berger, our director of operations and former commissioner. And
I took the demotion in stride.
Director's hire.
Two HSL alumni, and they're clearly doing something very correct because there's a lot of passion in that chat. So we're very excited. I'm very excited. Yeah, what, Avi?
That's a very big piece that I missed also. Both HSL alumni, both very dedicated, players in HSL, I think really appreciate what we were doing down here. And I think it's part of what's really driving them, they can speak for themselves, to really, sort of develop what we have down here and really blow it up, as Joey always says, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times bigger down in South Florida. So I think that also played a very big role.
There's a real need for it. There's a real need for it.
Yeah, it goes to the community feel. People really feeling like it's something that's more than just a sport, and they want it wherever they go. So, Joey, what were you saying?
No, listen, I guess we could just delve right into it. There's a real need for it. I mean, they talk about these gold balls that they play with down here, and we can get into the controversy with the bats, all this, all that. But to be honest with you, and I'll say it, there was a scrimmage last week, and all these guys were saying how, it's so different, the gold ball and the clincher, and I keep telling them, yeah, listen, you can hit a gold ball 450 feet. That doesn't mean you can hit a clincher. It shows the real talent and who can hit and who can't, because it's a little gold ball that flies
and the ball ain't going to be coming in 3 miles an hour from 8 feet over your head. The ball will hopefully, from at least some of the pitchers, be coming with a nice amount of speed, a little bit of spin. No starting with one ball and one strike. This is real softball. None of that fake stuff. We're bringing real softball to South Florida. I think this is what also everyone's so excited about down there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's like it's New York style rules, obviously. Menachem, people last week Menachem Diamondstein pitched and was a little wild. Sorry, Menachem, but I was underwhelmed by a lot. I know.
Menachem's known as King Diamondstein here in New York. Now he has a chance to really develop himself as a legit pitcher in
But he
South
pulled
Florida.
out, the Bane mask from Batman, that whole mask, he pulls it out, puts it on, and that's really when it gets intimidating. And guys are like, oh, he doesn't have control. And I'm like, listen, I promise you right now, Menachem Diamondstein is going to be the top pitcher in this league. It's not even a question.
What about Mr. Suss?
Mr. Suss is playing shortstop.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mr.
So Yona, how's your experience been so far? What are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Definitely
What's going on?
would want to echo the same sentiment as Joey. Florida is hungry for softball. And everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to get involved. Everyone who I speak to just wants to know more about the league, see what it is, see if they can fit it into their schedule. It's been fun. It's been fun to meet some of the people I've got to scrimmage against the team that's going to be representing Addictive Ads. It's a lot of nice guys, a lot of guys that are looking for this type of structure and want to compete. It's going to be fun.
Shout out
Absolutely.
Addictive Ads, Jake Byrne.
Yeah.
Little plug right there.
Jake Byrne's actually trying to start this new company. What was it? Addictive, another new one.
Addictive Crush Research Ads.
Well, Q Rush
no,
Trivia is
the new
also
one
also one of his companies.
Yeah, Crush.
It's Crush.
It's Crush.
It's not Q. It's Crush. It's not Q Rush.
Yeah, David Gottlieb actually represented Crush in our Twillery tournament and didn't really to say it nicely.
Joey Katz represented them well.
That's true.
And he was stiffed of Player of the Week.
What was the name, Dave? What's the name of the new thing? He teased it on the status.
I'm not sure. I missed it. Okay, so let's talk schmooze a little more, and then we'll get to the important stuff. Yona, so you're from South Florida originally, unlike Joey, who's a transplanter. One might even say a tourist because he's only there about 2 days a week. So Yona, you really understand the lay of the land down there. And is South Florida, how's it looking over there? How's the competition? What have your experiences been previously? Did you ever think that there would be an Orthodox Jewish men's softball league in South Florida? Give us the scoop as a native.
So it's funny,
Floridian.
growing up, I only got exposed to the North Miami Beach community when I came here for middle school, and I met it. It was a growing community. It was already pretty big, but I was a child. I didn't really know much about it. The community itself has expanded 20-fold, 30-fold. I can't even really grasp it. The main community used to be in Miami Beach. Now it's more just Miami Beach, North Miami Beach, Hollywood, Boca. It's just so vast and it's just so saturated with talent. But there's never been this structured league. And it's funny, if you would ask me, I would have said, yeah, but there's probably a softball league. There's probably already this type of competition. But it's shocking to me that there isn't, only because I know that there's already a structure in Boca for these pickup games. I'm just surprised that they never got it into a league that was bigger than 4 teams. So, this year it's going to be 8 teams. I could definitely see in the future us expanding to more tiers, more teams. I definitely feel like when we get the word out, people are going to start wanting to come. We didn't really advertise in Miami Beach. We're going to be able to start bringing in teams from there. People, teams from who knows? People from Kendall may start even wanting to play if we start really getting the word out everywhere. What's Kendall? So Kendall's where I grew up. It's about 45 minutes south of North Miami Beach. It's about 10 minutes east of the Everglades. It's along the coast. It's a very, very small Orthodox Jewish community, but it's a massive conservative and reform community. So that's why I grew up not from, and I became a Baal Tshuva when I was about 10, driven by my whole family.
Let's try to keep the conversation to HSL and not marketing your Kendall town, your Kirov town in we can make another podcast about Kirov and Kendall for those interested in it. No, but that's pretty amazing, actually. Wow. So you grew up not from, or you grew up conservative / reform?
I grew up conservative. My family was always very traditional.
You grew up conservative.
So we were always right there, but yeah.
Just a little, you're always, as a little side hoc, as somebody who grew up conservative and now Orthodox, you really use the word from and not from. It feels like such a judgy word.
Did you have a Rabbi Sarah? Was she your
no, we had actually, we were in a conservative shul, and they had very traditional kind of, I would even say the rabbis that I grew up with were more like traditional conservative. And then we still had very good, traditional morals and a traditional Jewish background. So I was never exposed to all of that. And yeah, I wouldn't say I had those types of experiences.
Right. But it is interesting saying from and not from, because somebody in those backgrounds would say they are from, it's like an interesting, I see we're getting political very quickly on this pod, but I remember actually when we had you on the pod, when you were on the league in New York on Berger Hicks, shout out to the best law firm, Berger Hicks, you were also telling us about Kendall. Ultimately, you guys moved out.
We have 2 law firms, but listen, I won't argue with you.
My bad. That's funny. You guys ultimately moved a little bit north because there was more Orthodox
So it's funny,
Judaism there.
I wasn't really, part of the decision making, and I was actually corrected by my family that it had to do a lot with my brothers were starting to go up to school in North Miami Beach, and it was very, very tough for them to do the whole waking up at 6 a.m. and getting in the car at 6:45 and going on that schedule. So it was very much making sure that my brothers had a more centralized, education, a stabilized education for them. Just so they wouldn't have to do all that traveling, and it would just be too hard for them. So I did leave that part out. I just missed it. My mom my mom corrected me when I was done, but when she watched it.
So but before we get this off, though, how is it being
Oh
back
my
in
God, I
Florida? Are
love
you
it. It's
enjoying
so
it? Do
much
you miss
better.
New
I went up
York?
for a wedding a couple weeks ago, and it was like 45 degrees when I got off the plane, and it was just immediately like, yep, I'm supposed to be in Florida. No, this is just so much better. I'm built
You're
for
built
nah,
for
yeah, I can't
Florida.
handle the cold anymore. It's done.
Got it. All right. So, anybody else have any comments before we get into cold hard? Oh, and
Let's.
also we have to talk about Avi, our fearless um,
Yeah.
super commissioner. Joey's the commissioner. Yona's the former commissioner. Avi's the
Avi
super
says
commissioner.
jump. I say how high.
Avi, yeah, yeah, yeah. Avi, how does it
I say
feel to?
corporate. Joey says how
And I
much.
guess everyone just tells me what to do, and I listen.
So the truth of the matter is, I actually don't remember the story. All I remember is Avi coming to me and saying, "We're doing softball in South Florida," and I said, "Okay, keep me out of it." But what? Yeah, to keep me out of it. Here I am, 6 months later, doing a podcast about it. Avi, do you remember the story? What the seed of it was? Who was it? Yona? Was it Joey? Was it Menachem?
I think Avi
I
always wanted to start
I've
it
always wanted
there
to.
because of
Yeah,
competitors. A three letters in the alphabet. We won't drop their name.
Is that
well,
the
I guess.
Kendall
Um,
Kirev Association, or
Well,
that's
It's
the
much worse
yeah,
than the Kendall
a
Kieran
to be
different?
honest,
Association.
to be honest, I mean, David, the
Kendall
second.
Kirov doing business as LBA, DBA, LBA.
By the way, you should know. By the way, they're actually they're coming down Thursday also. Maybe on the same flight as them. Actually, coming from Lakewood, so they're probably coming in. Probably going from Newark, but they're also coming Thursday. Same, I think, same time we are, Thursday to Sunday. Same time I am, at least. You should know that starting in South, this when we bought the softball league, the Hillcrest softball league, for everyone watching, a little bit of background, we bought a Sunday morning league with 6 teams, me and David, and it exploded to 18 teams for that season, and we got sponsors, and that turned into 400, 500 men between basketball and softball, and we then started a kids league, and now we have close to 750 kids between all our programming throughout the year. So the second we started really expanding, and we started a kids league, which was a few months after we bought the men's league, right away in my mind is this has to end up in South Florida because I was in yeshiva in Boca Raton, Florida, and Chavetz Chaim, where that's the high school league we're starting. Part of that yeshiva, Matzah Shabbosim, also this coming Matzah Shabbos, so it worked out so well for me to come down. But my dream was to start in South Florida. I was in yeshiva there for 3 years. I have a billion aunts and uncles who live there. My wife's brother and sister-in-law, my brother Tzvi King, shout out, also playing in the league, lives in Hollywood. So a lot of family there, and I genuinely feel it's my home away from home, and I would love to end up there myself, but I need an excuse. So my goal has always been to do what I'm doing here and just blow it up in South Florida. And obviously, there's Boca was my number one option, and that's sort of very difficult now. So men's softball was also my number one option, number one B. And thank God, thanks to Joey and Yona's help. I'm not sure exactly how it came to be. I'm not sure if
Yeah, I don't remember
Joey
either.
came to me or Yona. I honestly don't know. I don't remember. It was all so fast, which is what we tend to do here at HSL, do things very fast. But all I
Fast
do
and
know is
organized.
is, is they really like I said, they took it by the horn, and we have 8 teams, 8 strong teams. It should be super competitive, and I genuinely believe that if next season we could have, maybe it's just me talking. It's how I think, but I think we could have the double amount of teams and start a men's
100%.
football league potentially, and hopefully some youth stuff also. There's a lot of potential here, but the answer is I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know it's something I always wanted, and something that Joey and Yona, as I mentioned before, because they played in our leagues down here and now are living in South Florida. At least Joey's officially living in South Florida. Want to
Unofficially
bring
more, actually. But okay.
unofficially want to bring down there, and I think that's sort of how it came to be. Now, also, one more thing, Menachem Diamondstein and Iris Suss,
Yeah.
we have to give a shout out to them because they're on a chat with us for weeks, maybe even months. We were still on the chat, but it was super active, and they were really, 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 really pushing to make this work. They were dying. Zimmerman also from behind the scenes a little more, but they were dying for real New York style, competitive softball, and they really, really helped us out. They helped us, through the ropes and the clientele and the different things we need to know, permits, umpires, etc. They're just all over it, and they played a tremendous role in making this work.
I also want to give a shout out to Diamond Team. Also, he came on our first ever like gimmicky podcast before he had a big matchup with Steve Pollen, so we had them both on together. That was like I think the first time we had on like two dueling captains at the same time.
Should
That
have done
was
that this week. Diamondstein Zimmerman, big game.
Yeah, juicy,
okay. So
juicy.
with that, maybe we should get into. Have the power rankings been released already, Joey, or they're being
They
released
have
right
been.
now?
They have been. They have been released. They have been released. Some feedback on it. Seems like some people didn't appreciate it. It seems like Burger Hicks feel like they were, you know, they got a little toyed with. Yono Burger did request to be at number 8. I
Gonna
want to throw
reveal the
that out
secrets
there
here.
before anyone says anything. Okay, so now I'm just going to clear my name of that. But there is a rhyme and a reason for the rankings. Jump into it.
Yeah, well, first let me look at this just to digest it myself. So we got Sensible Alpha Tech. Is that a Diamondstein's team?
Yes.
Alpha Diamondstein. Wow, look at that. Rides to Fly Hurricanes. Are there any? Who are the big names? Any other big names on Sensible Alpha Tech?
I mean, yeah, you got Ira Suss, the legend. You got John Eliezer, who I've heard is very good. You have, according to Diamondstein, we called him out on this. He's like the freaking Dodgers. He just buys players. He doesn't
Yeah, you
believe in the
wrote that
farm
in the
system.
players chat. You wrote
Yeah,
that
he
in the
doesn't
players
believe in
chat.
the farm
That's
system.
to be that's what Diamondstein did in New York. So we have a Sunday morning league where we had one team dominating the league for years, and when we took it over, we wanted more competition, and we brought in Menachem Diamondstein, and he sort of recruited the house. He recruited all the good players, and he took down this. We called the name is the Bombers. He took them down on Sunday morning. The Edgar Agent Bombers. Every team is sponsored.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't. I think even Menachem even said last week he wasn't expecting the level of talent. I mean, listen, he only saw like 2.5 teams. He wasn't expecting the level of talent to be at what it was. And I think there's definitely a lot of competition that he doesn't know a lot of the guys. But from asking around and stuff like that, I don't think it's a given that Diamondstein's gonna run away with the championship.
I don't know. Again, we could go through Zimmerman's roster also, but from speaking to Steve Pollen,
Zimmerman seems good.
Zimmerman was Pollen's captain for many years in what then was called the Croton League. Now we call the HSL Monday Night League, which I think is the most talented softball league you will find. Yes, everyone watching more than YMSL. I don't even think it's close because YMSL is a draft, so you have a lot of weaker players for every team. However, I cannot imagine Zimmerman not bringing down a crazy team. If he was Pollen's captain for many years, the guy must know what he's doing. The guy must know talent. So I'm sure they're going to be fully loaded. Also,
No, yeah, they have a couple players on there. A lot of New York guys, and generally, New York guys have played against different levels of competition, unlike guys that are in Florida that haven't really been leagued. So these guys, they understand the game. Listen, obviously, you have some guys on Steven Friedman's team, Rob the Pest Martinez.
Oh, Rob, he's my early favorite for MVP.
I mean, that
Just the
guy.
way.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That guy in the scrimmage last week. That guy's good. That guy.
How old is he? How old is he?
I don't know. I didn't count the rings around his body to let you know how long he's been around. But he was a stud in left field. He can hit. I'm telling you, there's Friedman's team, which is Smash House, Zimmerman's team, Rides to Fly, Diamondstein, are all very.
What
very
about Aaron
good.
Gablickian with that beard? Did he
So
show up to the scrimmage?
listen, so I'll tell you why NYG was put at 5. So
which one's a Chabad team? I heard it's a Chabad team.
That's NYEG. They were put at 5 because I've heard from people. Yeah, they're good. They say they're good. People don't actually know who they are, but you know what? I like to look in the good of everybody, and I'll be like, all right, I'm willing to take it. I'll throw you guys in at 5, prove me right, or get dropped down.
So what team is Tzvi on? My brother-in-law.
Speaking's on Schlesinger. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
So we'll get to them in a second. So
Schlesinger.
we were talking on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Schlesinger. So he messaged me. We were talking on Thursday. He wrote, "Is there a Chabad team also?" I said, "Yeah." He said they're very, very good also. So, I guess it's not only them talking. I guess I think Tzvi's probably played with them in South Florida before, but we'll see. We'll see how it.
Right. So that's why we did the 4 and 5. With Schlesinger. We put at 4 because based off of asking around, I heard that
Who's we? Joey, who cooked this with you?
ChatGPT. No, I'm kidding. Who cooked with me?
You mean it was you? When you say
It was
we,
100. Yeah, it was
you're
1,000%.
passing the buck a little bit. Okay. Was it at least
1,000%.
was it discussed in the executive office, or you
Yeah,
just?
no, it was discussing the exec. It was definitely discussing the executive office. Listen, Diamondstein's team had to go at one. I mean, just solely based off of knowledge of who their team is and knowing the most players. I know they're very good. And then Zimmerman, I definitely think's a close second. Stephen Freeman's team, Smash House, was very, very surprising last week at the scrimmage. I got to give it to them. Very impressive.
Cool. And then
Very,
we
very
have
impressive.
the last three teams, the ugly stepchildren of HSL South Florida, one of whom is with us, Mr. Yona Berger. Let's
We
start
got the
with number
Kaiwak
8.
Flying
Wow.
Gefiltas.
Let's start with Chaiwak Flying Gefiltas. That's a home run on their name, though. That's a
It
home
is.
run on them. And
Yeah,
then Addictive.
shout out to Chaiwak. As much as we like to compete, there's always you never hurts to have some food as an incentive to win championships. So that's what Wall Street Grill does for us down here, and appreciate Chaiwak in South Florida bringing that same energy.
And then
Yeah, you have
what is it?
sadly a shocker, a Jake Byrne Addictive Ads team in the bottom of the power rankings.
Wait, what is the meaning of nacho average?
So they had a different team name that I don't know what our audience rating is on this, so I'm not sure I can crop it. So they had to switch it.
You could spell it for us, Joey. That's what you do in front of kids.
Right. So yeah, it has to do with being sons of a pitcher. Let's just stay with that.
Got it. Got it.
It wasn't so. I guess.
Joey, I think you're blocking the mic now or something. We can't hear
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
You know.
All right. It wasn't so user friendly, so they switched it to Nacho Average. But unfortunately for them, they don't realize that Addictive Ads. It's really a fitting name when it comes to Addictive Ads teams.
Poor Addictive Ads. Poor Jake Byrne.
Oh, I get it now. Not your. Okay. All right, fine. So, Yona, how does it feel to be number 8, to be sitting in the executive office, and to be disrespected like this?
So it definitely was one thing when I told Joey, listen, put us number 8. We're going to beat expectations. I didn't tell the rest of my team. They were, of course, they were outraged. A player did say that this may be a little bit of anti-Semitism, but I told him that that's not what's happening. But to be called the ugly stepchildren, Burger Hicks is here to smash expectations. We have made organizational changes since we lost a scrimmage to, I forgot who we played. Who do we play?
Addictive Ads.
Yes, we were missing some of our key players, but we made organizational changes. We bought a pitching machine. We have a batting cage now at the Burger Hicks home base, our training facility. And, we are ready to get, to put in the work. We're going to improve. We're going to get better. We're ready to ball out tomorrow night.
So your dad is playing on the team also?
Yeah, he is. He didn't want to be a captain, but he is definitely a leader of this team.
What position does he play?
He could really play anywhere. He's doing us a favor. He's going to slot in a catcher. But my dad's been playing softball down here in South Florida for 30 years. He is, he's the type of person you're not going to get a pitch by him just, that easily. He's ready to. He may be getting up there in age, but he's ready to. He's also ready to really bring some fire to this.
How old is your dad?
He'd rather not. No, I'm kidding. He's 58.
Okay. How old is he? I saw somebody in the chat yesterday right there, 57. Is your dad the oldest?
No, the guy's not 57. He was joking because he was wearing his senior bat.
I get it.
There was a whole honk of whether he could use a senior bat. It was.
Okay, I'm dipping in.
USSSA.
I'm dipping in and out, so I don't really know. I have so many HSL North chats to keep up with. It's hard. What's the So who's the oldest is he the oldest in the league?
Is my dad? I have no idea. If he is, though, I don't think he wants to know.
Joey, did you see any other senior citizens at the scrimmage?
No, I did not. I think he has a couple of years on the guys below him. To be honest, I mean, he seems like a great guy, and he can hit. To be honest, he can hit. But it did seem like he had more grays than other people.
How young was the youngest player? Is the youngest player?
We have like a 6-year-old. No. The youngest. I don't know.
No, so it's interesting. In our HSL North, we generally the age range is basically from, I would say, even 16. We sometimes have 16-year-olds in the night league because they could play after school. So it ranges from 16.
Basketball league, we have 14-year-olds.
Oh yeah, on Yuri Mava's team.
You have to make sure they're of age. I mean, like,
who's the oldest in the? Who's the oldest up
Imagine,
north, Heavy? Yeah, go ahead,
The
Yona.
oldest
no,
player?
imagine if Jake Byrne like clues in, like asks how the team's doing. He's like, "Well, they're doing well, but half of them are middle schoolers, so like we're not. The expectation is just really low."
Right.
Who's the oldest player up north?
Yeah, I mean, Murray Silver pitched a few games till he broke. He
Glenn.
was 60. Glenn's what, 55, 56?
Yeah, I don't want to start asking you about players because maybe they're a lot younger than they look, and I can get in trouble. Like I'm thinking a
Who,
couple
me?
guys. What?
Wait.
Get in trouble, Avi. The thing about HSL is we have a psychologist who works for them, so we're able to massage egos. We're able to help people feel better about themselves after the fact. All right, we don't have to insult everybody. All right, so what else do we have to get to here?
Let's get into matchups. Yeah, should we get into matchups off the bat?
Let's get into the matchups for the week. Yeah.
Maybe let Joey and Yoda get the predictions. I can give a couple predictions as well. I mean, they know the teams a lot more than I do.
All right. I mean, Yona, I guess we could go with.
You have the schedule, Joey? Pull the schedule.
Let's go with our matchup right now.
Yeah, I got the schedule. We got. I guess we could start off. We got Burger Hicks versus the Schlesinger Law Firm. Battle of the law firms, malpractice and personal injury.
That's 8 of the Power Rankings versus what? 4?
That's 8 in the 4. Listen, I could have overranked my team, but based on a very little bit of information from a couple of the people that I heard on my team, I did hear that there are some very, very solid guys. That's why I put us at 4. Like I said, prediction. I don't know. I don't want to insult Yona.
Right now, bring it on.
No, remember
it happens to be that right now there's a lot of injuries and going on with the squad.
Oh, see, yeah, I don't know if you guys hear. He's making excuses. That was crazy.
I'll say
fourth in the power rankings and can't even predict a win versus the 8th seed. This is exciting.
I'll say 12-5 Schlesinger Law Firm.
By the way, the mercy rule is 10 after 5 in the regular season.
I'll say 12-5. I'll say it's a 12. I'll say it's a 12 game and a couple in the late innings.
Is Sweet King playing?
Sweet King is playing.
What position is Sweet King playing?
Sweet King is playing third.
Ooh, I don't know. My brother-in-law used to be. He was a big softball guy when he in New York for a while, and then he came
batting 2, playing third.
Wow, that's very big because he's an ice hockey guy now. He's fully in ice hockey. He's trying to make a big return to softball, so we'll see how he does. I think just from knowing a few people that I know on each roster and hearing the chirping around, I'll say what is it? Schlesinger Law, Battle of the Law Firms also very cute. First week, I think Schlesinger Law will win 8-2.
2. Wow, really? I don't. Do you guys know who's pitching for Schlesinger? I feel like you might be overrating this guy.
I agree. I think you're overrating this guy. Also, I'll be straight up with you.
Joey Katz, by the way, is the slowest and biggest EFIS pitcher you'll ever find, by the way. You can know it's coming in slow. It's still hard to hit. It's a strange.
Listen, here's a scouting report. I'll tell you what's coming. It's one pitch, and that's it. It's a fastball, and my fastball is my slow pitch, and my slow pitch is my fast pitch.
That's not true. You have a really, really, really slow pitch, and then once in a while you have a little bit less slow pitch.
It's true.
I'm saying that seriously, by the way. It's not. I mean, it's true that it feels really slow, but you do sometimes, a little bit faster. It's not always.
When I get the burst of energy, I really throw it in there.
Yeah, people aren't going to realize they're not playing hierarchy anymore. People are going to think they're still playing the same hierarchy they've always played when they see Joey.
I'm telling you, it works. It works. But that's my prediction for that game, Yona. I'll be honest with you.
What's the other early game? It's 7. The games are what, 7:30 and 9:30? What is it?
Yeah. Then there's we've got Addictive Ads versus Highwalk, which should be an interesting game.
Is that what? That's what, the 6-7?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the score of that will be. I do feel like it's going to be a little bit on the high scoring end due to defense in the field, I will say.
So let's be straight. You think that Highwalk and Addictive Ads have horrendous fielding teams?
I don't want to say it because I don't know them.
It's harsher than you need to be. Let's see what
happens.
You've never met the guys. Like, give them a chance to prove something.
No, I would love for them to prove me wrong. Prove us wrong. In our basketball league,
no, you're right. We're all about truth on this podcast.
You have guys who get upset for me saying that they don't have a good team. P for P. They're 3-2. I said they were trash and they should move to the tier 2 after the first week. They ripped off 3 wins in a row and they were eating me alive. Good for them.
It's true. I do agree. I think we should be straight up.
It's from what I'm hearing around. That's all.
Yes, I think that they are probably two of the. I think by season's end they will be 2 of the bottom teams.
We'll see how they do. Let's see.
I hope I'm wrong. I do.
I don't know any of them, by the way. I know none of them. I have zero knowledge as to how good any of them are. I'm just talking from what I'm hearing. That's all.
Right. And
People
I'm hearing the same thing.
people are talking about how horrendous they are, Avi. That makes it even better. All right, let's move on. What else do we got? Because I got to jump
But
soon.
just by the way, side fact, this is why we're doing all regular season games, 8 games are seeding games. Top 4 go to tier 1, bottom 4 go to tier 2. That's exactly why we're doing this,
And
because
by
we
the
don't know all the teams.
and just by the way, just to make it very clear before we finish up the final 2 games and get out of here, there's going to be those guys saying, oh, why is it? There'll be I don't know as much. There'll be certain people saying, oh, I end up in the 4 seed in tier 1 and not in the 5 seed, which is the 1 seed in the tier 2 bracket. It's not fair. Blah blah blah. Then you're playing with the big boys. It's
Correct.
more a chashuv. And for the 5 seed who complains, oh, it's not fair. I'm playing in the bottom tier. It's too easy. If they do say that,
Win the tier then.
win the tier.
I'd say
Right,
win.
exactly. Get into the top 4. So you got everyone knows
Trust
that's
us. We would much rather make it to the 4 seed.
Yes,
We're
yes.
looking to as much as I love the food at Chaiwalk, and we would love for it to win a team dinner just because we're the best team in the bottom 4. Which we plan to be the best team out of everyone. We just haven't shown it yet.
Woo.
Yeah. By the way, I never got to predict 7-4 Burger Hicks. You can lock it in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just as someone who serially bets on the Jets. This bet is easy.
So do you
But
want to get into the later games? We have 2 later games.
yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so Joey, why don't you bring us walk
All
us
right,
through
so
the later games.
we got Stephen Freeman versus NYEG. This is the 3 and the 5, I believe. So I'll be honest with you. I think that the Smash House Stephen Freeman's team is one of the most underrated teams just from seeing them. Rob the Pest Martinez, legend. They have a great pitcher. I forget his name. I didn't even speak 3 words to him. But he's a good pitcher. I think that they're going to be very good. But on the other hand, I also think that NYEG also could be a bit of a surprise based off of all the Chabad. I hear the Chabad Nation down here is very strong in softball.
And Shlomo Ross might be joining them in a couple of years. It would only make it stronger.
There you go. So I'm gonna go with Smash House Stephen Freeman winning the game, but I think it's gonna be like 9-6.
So
I think that cool. I think they're going in thinking like, oh, it's gonna be easy. I think NYEG is gonna be, listen. I hope that they live up to Chabad Nation from what I'm hearing. Make sure that we know the Rebbe's still alive and all that. I hope.
I can't really give a prediction on this because I haven't really heard too much. Like I said, I hear murmurs. I haven't heard too much murmurs about these 2 teams. They sort of slid
Evan
under the radar.
Evan Blackman,
Which
HSL legend.
Which team's he playing?
He's on Smash House.
The Chabad team I heard are very good. So I guess I'll go with my brother-in-law on this one and take the gut. I'll put what's the Chabad's team name again? They're
NYEG Blue Ballers.
NYEG Blue Ballers to defeat Smash House. Although we love Smash House, remember, there'll be a Smash House Player of the Week. 2 of them, right? 2 of them given out every single week to Smash House. We'll have to obviously, we'll let everyone know after the games who they are every week and present it with them. Hopefully the following week, Joe Bariono will, assuming I'm not going to be there. I'll go NYEG to win 7-5 over Smash House.
And now this leads us to the America's Game of the Week.
America's Game of the Week. Look at that.
Do we have theme music?
King Diamond.
We'll get Chris Collinsworth to run in. Now, here's a guy. That's what we'll do. This is, telling you right, this is going to set the tone for the league.
Yes. Not what prime time, right? 9:30. What field are we on?
They're at South Broward. This is gonna set it for the league, in my opinion.
This is gonna set the tone. Who the big dogs are in the HSL South Florida League. My laptop's about to die. Hopefully, it doesn't die before it turns off. This is gonna be a great matchup. I gotta go with my boy Menachem Diamond team. We just won the. Speaking of why am I selling deal? We just won the CARE tournament together. Menachem sort of carried me from the pitching end, although I am a pretty good pitcher myself. Not to my own horn, although I almost didn't make an out all tournament, so it was actually worth it. It was the first time I ever got to hit without the stress of having to pitch. It really makes a difference. But Menachem's a dog. He's amazing. When he has that fastball going with that bit of movement, he's nearly impossible to hit anybody. For anybody to hit. And like I said, I do believe that what's their name? The team Diamond Team's playing against.
Rides to Fly.
Rides to Fly. Yes, the amazing Rides to Fly. By the way, is now very, very much active in South Florida. Hopefully we'll be taking a Rides to Fly myself from the airport to our location. But anyways, I do believe that King Diamondstein. It's very important for King Diamondstein to make a statement, and I think he's.
I agree.
I think he wants it more. Obviously, there's what's his name again? The Steve Collins captain. I always forget.
Eric
his name.
Zimmerman.
Eric Zimmerman also obviously super competitive, like I mentioned before, playing on Steve Collins' team for years. It must wear off on him. But I think there's nobody who wants to win the first night and make a statement with the National Diamond Team. I'll say this will be actually a very low scoring game, and I'll say Diamond Team's team will win 3-1. Speaking of Diamond Team's team, before we want to shout out all the sponsors. I don't want to miss anyone. Sensible Marketing, a big sponsor. Who's the second sponsor before we get into the
Alpha Tech.
Alpha Tech also, thank you so much. So Sensible Marketing,
Florida Jewish Home,
and the Florida Jewish Home is huge because they're not only sponsoring toward that team, they're also going to be a big partner of HSL in having write-ups in the newspaper every week and the standings and the schedule. And so shout out to the Florida Jewish Home, are a very big partner of HSL down in South Florida for the men's softball league. All right, anybody else have any thoughts? Yona, anything on the games here before we wrap up? David, Joey.
I think we're good. We're all excited. It's gonna be great.
I think it's time to get the ball rolling already.
Get the ball rolling. Very excited. It's been in the works for a long time. Joey and Yona, thank you again for all your passion and hard work. Hopefully, I think we should get a guest on. My vote is for the Pest. Hopefully, we get the Pest on.
I agree. I think we got to get the Pest on.
The Pest is playing again versus Suriname. I'm just getting familiar.
The Pest is playing NYEG, and the Pest. Some say the Pest is the best. So we
and Avi Edelman's going to be in person tomorrow night. What time is game time tomorrow?
Guys, Dobbin. Everybody
7:30.
watching, please Dobbin
7:30.
that my flight does not get disrupted. Please.
I just saw a tweet, Avi, that flights have been running much smoother today. So hopefully everything is good.
It's good. Rides to Fly will provide transportation driving to Florida if needed, so we're good.
That is true, by the way. It's probably an expensive ride, but I'll be riding Rides to Fly heading from the airport back. So shout out Rides to Fly. Jeremy, Rides to Fly, the best. All right, I'm looking forward. I'm pumped. You guys now South Florida gets to, at least for the first week, gets to. I don't want to spoil them too much, Joe, and I don't want to put too much pressure on you to announce the way Edelman can announce, but South Florida gets to experience some Avi Edelman broadcasting week one.
Yeah, we'll get to see you ruin games before people can watch the highlights.
All right. Anyway,
all right. Take care, guys.
We're excited. Thanks,
See
guys.
ya.
We'll see you soon.
See you guys.